Ever notice how every year someone says the housing market is going to crash? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Coffee with Chuck 132. Hope you're having a great day so far. If you spend any free time on social media, YouTube, or the news, you probably heard it over and over again. The crash is coming. Just wait 6 months. Prices are going to fall apart. And here's the funny thing. People have been saying that for the last couple of years. Meanwhile, during those same 3 years, I personally purchased multiple properties right here in the Chicagoland area. Now, I'm not saying the market is perfect. Every market has cycles, but the idea that everything is just going to collapse overnight, that's usually more noise than reality. Let's rewind for a second. Back in 2022, when interest rates started rising quickly and a lot of buyers completely stepped to the sidelines. The common message I heard was, I'm going to wait for the crash. People thought prices were going to fall dramatically, but what actually happened? Inventory stayed low across most of Chicagoland suburbs. Demand cooled a bit because of rates. Yeah, but there were still plenty of buyers out there, and because of the supply was limited, so prices didn't collapse the way that people expected. Now fast forward a little bit to 2023, I heard the same thing again. This is the year the market's going to crash. Instead, what we saw was much more normal. Fewer total transactions compared to the frenzy of 2021 and early 2022, but homes were still selling. And in many parts of the suburbs, well-priced properties were still getting multiple offers. And again, people were waiting. Then we move into the last year of 24, and guess what? The conversation still sounded the same. The crash is coming. Meanwhile, I continue to buy property, and the reason is pretty simple. When I look at real estate, I'm not trying to perfectly time the market. I'm looking at long-term fundamentals. Population trends, local demand, inventory levels, rental demand, job markets, and most importantly, time in the market. Chicagoland is a massive metro area. You have strong suburbs, good school districts, established neighborhoods, and steady housing demand. That doesn't mean prices only go up, but it does mean the market trends to move gradually rather than collapse suddenly. And historically, the people who do best in real estate aren't the ones who perfectly time the bottom. It's the ones who buy when it makes sense for them. Then they hold on to the property and let time do the heavy lifting. Another thing people forget is that real estate isn't just about price, it's all about opportunity. And over the past few years, with higher interest rates, there has been less competition in certain situations. Some buyers step out of the market entirely. That creates openings for people who are still looking. I have been able to negotiate deals, find properties that sat a little longer, and make investments that I probably wouldn't have been able to during the frenzy of 2021. And even every house had 20 offers or so. So while other people were waiting for a crash, others were quietly building portfolios. And again, I'm not saying to you should rush out and buy something tomorrow. Every situation is different. But the big lesson is if you spend your entire time waiting for the perfect market moment, you may end up waiting for years. The market doesn't ring a bell at the bottom. There's no headline that says, okay, everyone, now's the perfect time to buy. Instead, the people who succeed usually focus on strategy, patience, and long-term thinking. And that's exactly how I have approached the Chicagoland market over the past few years. So if you or somebody you know who's been sitting on the sidelines wondering whether now is the right time to buy, sell, or even invest, the best thing you can do is look at your personal situation rather than to try to predict a crash, because real estate decisions should be based on your goals, not just headlines. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have an even greater weekend, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.